It is a beautiful Sunday morning in July down at the dock. Typically for us, that's a Sunday fun day with everybody on the dock, but we're trying to get a few things done this morning and enjoy the afternoon in the sun. We're going to at least try and get our 50-hour service list done so I can put a note up at the helm reminding me at the next 50 hours to do this. So all we have left to complete on our 50-hour is to clean our sea strainers, take the top off, clean the baskets out, get the seaweed out, and then I'm going to check the engine zincs real quick. The sacrificial anodes, I'm just going to pull them out. I can't really figure out from our invoices and from our logs when they were changed last, but I'm going to visually inspect them. That's all you're supposed to do on the 50, and we're going to get that done this morning. So here we go. Today is also the Ludington Offshore Classic Fishing Tournament on Sunday, and this is the weigh-in, and all of the boats are coming in. About to see who the big fish is. Hey, Kath.
Yep.
You got to turn off our bedroom air conditioner. Yep, it's time. I found a little drain plug in the bottom that I didn't know was in these. It's going to make it a lot easier because we had shot back the water out, and then we try and get down in this thing with a brush. It's a glass container. We try and get down in there with a brush to kind of keep it clean, get any sand out of there, just to keep it clean. This is the filter or the seawater strainer for the intake for our forward air conditioning. So the basket was full of seaweed. There's some discoloration on the glass. We're just going to see if we can't get in there and clean it off, but that's the procedure. So Kathy's going to get some scrubbing stuff and maybe some fresh water to roll through there. We did find some sand and some salt buildup, which speaks to probably the last time that we cleaned those out. So she's going to scrub them and flush them. And while she's doing that, I am going to check the engine zincs. An engine zinc, or an engine zinc anode, also known as a pencil zinc anode, is a sacrificial anode made of zinc designed to protect a boat's engine and other submerged metal parts from corrosion due to electrolysis. The zinc works by corroding instead of more expensive engine components, effectively acting as a sacrificial shield that corrodes first, ensuring the metal engine parts remain intact. That is part of our 50-hour service, just to check them. And this one, somebody wrote on there 25, so they may have just been done, or I'm not sure if that's a stock number or what, but man, they are in there. Okay. That is a full length zinc. So visual inspection of that is that's okay. I'm told they're good up until there's 3/4 left or less, then you replace them. So I'm going to check them all, but that's how you check it.
I am putting silicone grease on the O-ring.
This is how they should not look. That is a zinc that is long past its lifespan, so that one is going to get replaced. Kind of hard to see back there, but port engine, C strainer, generator, C strainer. We're not going to dump these into the bilge. Kathy's going to scrub and shop vac the extra water out. There's the caps. Over on the other side is the starboard engine C strainer, and I pulled that basket out already for her to clean. I don't know if you can see, but it looks like we might have some beach glass, a plastic toy, and I'm not quite sure what's in there, but
oh yeah,
if that's a beach glass or something, I'll keep it.
Yeah.
So we are tucked way in on the outboard side of the starboard engine to be able to reach these, and I have this one loosened up. Our friend John, the service tech from Cummins, always listen to service tech, said if you're going to go through the trouble of getting back here to just check them on your 50 hour, you might as well just make it your annual and change them once a year, then you know. And I think he's on to something, because these are harder to get to back here and they are gone. There's just a nub left. Should have been at least checked or monitored prior, my own fault. But I do have a kit of zincs coming, and since we made it all the way across this engine back into this corner, I am just going to replace these instead of checking them. This one below it was the same way. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's one more there, and there's one more tucked way down in there. And before I go through that trouble, I'm just going to get the new ones and put them in.
So we just took the baskets out of the C strainers. One's the generator and one's the other one. I guess I don't know what that is. He'll fill that in. I guess it's just a C strainer. This one's bigger. I sucked the water out of this one, and it doesn't look like it's too bad. Can't really get to show you too well. Yeah, can't really see it. It's cloudy, but I'm just going to suck the water out with the shop vac. That way if there's any particles, it'll come out, and I guess when we go to turn this thing back on, that refills with fresh water, so through the C strainer. So we're just going to suck them out, and I'll hit them with this little brush that I use. We took the C strainers out of the carriages or holders or whatever they are. The basket is out. So this is filled with water, and just we're sucking all the water out just in case there's little particles that kind of made it through the basket. But the basket is so fine, really nothing should, but there's still
sand and grit.
Yeah, so we think it's, you can't really see in there either, which is making it hard.
That was the forward air conditioning, or one of the forward strainer for a couple air conditioners. Then she did the port and starboard C strainer, and over on the port side is the small C strainer for the generator. The generator's back there. The big problem is the last one is way back in the aft bilge for a couple more of the air conditioner systems. We've permanently mounted our toolbox right here, so we have to go over the top of the toolbox, across the isolation transformer to get to that sea strainer in the bilge. It's just part of what we have to do, boat yoga. And of course, there's only one person that can fit back there, and it's not me. This is the aft bilge, and this one came out pretty clean. And before I pulled it out, you could see right through the water, and I could see there's no sediment, there was no sticks or weird stuff in this one. So we're not going to shop vac this one out because the water's pretty clear. So Kathy has cleaned the strainer. I'm going to put it back in, and then that little yellow lever down there opens the seacock to let the water back in. So good news is the aft one was really clean and in good shape, and I think this one feeds water through our salon AC and maybe our bridge AC, which aren't getting run a whole lot, but good news is it was clean. So we'll put this one back together. So I'm glad I did that with the engine zincs. That is part of our 50-hour service, to at least visually inspect them. Service tech John was probably correct that if you're gonna pull them out, you might as well replace them, but I think that every 50 hours to check them is good. I'm gonna replace them all other than the two that were okay, so that I know at the start of this adventure they were all brand new, and every 50 hours I can check them. So there's kind of a hodgepodge of a few that just got replaced and some that haven't been replaced in a while. I want them all the same. We'll watch them as they deteriorate. We'll switch them out again, especially as we get into salt water. And the sea strainers is always something we think, oh, that's easy, we just clean the basket out, but always turns into a boat yoga, both of us covered with water. But good news is 50-hour service is done. I'm going to update the logbook and put a sticky note up at the helm so that we know in 50 hours from now that we got to do it again. Well, here we are down here on a Tuesday after work, and we are trying to get our oil change done. We're at least going to try and do something. We have, what, 20 gallons of oil sitting up there?
Yeah, and buckets.
Empty buckets to put the oil in. So we're at least going to try and get this done tonight before the sun goes down, and maybe get to enjoy a sunset or relax. But it's time to get the oil changed. Maybe the trans fluid, maybe the generator, but for sure both engines. Well, that's the plan anyway. I think if I remember right, nothing's coming out. I think I need to pull the oil filler tube to release the vacuum and allow the oil to drip through. So, take this off, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since we did it ourselves. I think it was actually in Demopolis when we did it, when Dreamer did his. So it's been that long. Every other time has been while the boat's been on the hard or like I remember it coming out faster than that, but so best laid plans. Again, it's evening after work, after dinner, and we were trying to get the oil change done, at least on the two engines, and the oil is coming out of the reverso system super slow. So this system uses a pump. It's plumbed to all the engines and the generator. You can see the labeling there. So we turn it to drain, pick which engine we're working with, and the fuel or the oil, used oil, comes out of the hose, and it was coming out at a trickle. So after a little bit of Googling and dissecting, this reverso pump has an impeller back here, a little rubber impeller that we're pretty sure is toast. They said they go back quite often, and we've never changed it. The boat's 20 years old or over 20 years old. So I'm going to pull the back off of this and see if there's a little impeller in there that's damaged. If it's not damaged, we'll put it back together and deal with the slow pumping. If it is damaged, then everything's on hold till I can get a new impeller in the mail. So here we go.
I have a boat cleaning question. When you take that apart, is it going to be all wet, loose oil?
Could be. Could be.
Just checking.
I can see from the front camera that I have a matching Paris Landing hat and shirt on. Comment in the comment section if you've ever been to Paris Landing, or if you have a matching Paris Landing outfit that you use to change oil. So we're going to take it apart and get to the impeller right now. So we pulled the impeller out of there, and that's the problem. That impeller is missing 3 of its 6 blades, so it wasn't pumping the oil through the system correctly. I'm gonna order this right away, and then I'm gonna pull this hose off, and Kathy and I'll probably take it, I don't know, to the gas station or something and try and blow it clean to make sure none of this plastic is in the hose, and then we'll give it a shot. So we have oil change on hold, reverso impellers on hold. I have about 3 gallons of oil on hold. So everything is covered in oil and everything's on hold. So that's a boat project. That's how we do.
That's how we roll.
So there it is. That's the impeller. You can see missing the fins. The gasket is a little blown out, to be expected, but comes with a new gasket. So we're just waiting on the new part. I did clean out all the hose, the fill hose there. We blew it clean and shined a light through it, so there's no particles. There's no particles of the impeller on the outside, the pump outside of the pump. Who knows what got sucked in, but nothing we can do about that. So now we wait for a new impeller to come with the mailman as soon as he can. So we are going to try and cross something off the list tonight, because it didn't go so well, did it?
No, not so much.
So we're going to climb down there and try and clean out the filters on our freshwater pumps. Last year in Green Turtle Bay, we put 2 new freshwater pumps on, and it's just part of our 100-hour service to go down there and clean the filter baskets on the back of those pumps. They're very small with a little screen in them, so we're going to unscrew them and get them clean and cross that off the 100-hour list, we hope.
Show me your nasty fingernails.
Oh, and it's good to clean freshwater filters as soon as you've done an oil change, just so everything sort of blends together and nobody gets sick. Is that how you're feeling too?
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. How about you clean the filters?
I guess I'm doing the filters. I should have just not said a thing. I guess I'm going in. What twisted?
Are you concerned?
Oh, he's very nervous. Why is not putting her hair up? She never wears her hair up.
It's gonna be okay. We're just getting freshwater filters clean with these.
We have a headlamp issue. I have one that I always like to keep in the junk drawer, so that way we always have it. Kind of goes back to the organization of the boat. And they always end up in his tool bag underneath in a weird spot. So
Fake news.
Fake news. I bought my own. But I didn't notice it. I think this is rechargeable, which Bob said is going to be a pain. I think it says it has batteries because it works. It's really bright.
It's good enough to change the filters.
Yeah.
This is down in the engine room. Our freshwater pumps are all the way out there on the starboard outboard wall. So we gotta unload all these crates so we can get back there and check them. And we think there's some good storage back here. So our freshwater jugs that we take with us to the Bahamas, or if we know we're not going to be near a marina, we don't use them that often. We think we can store them back in there. So we're going to try and accomplish that. We're going to get the filters changed, get this stuff out of the way, and then try and get those stored back in there. Here you go.
Look at that.
Going in.
Flashes.
Whoa.
Party.
So that's the freshwater pump 1 and 2. You can see the glass baskets on the back. Those are what we're taking off to clean, part of our 100-hour service. So this is the freshwater filter. You can see by my hands that I'm not allowed to touch the inside of it, but there were a few particles. We've noticed that some of our freshwater filters that we put at the hose seem to break down prematurely. They're cheap and whatever, but overall this is pretty clean. We're just going to get the particles out and put it back on and make sure that I don't touch it with my nasty oily hands. Second one came out clean. Again, it tipped over down there, but it had a few charcoal particles in it from our dock filters. Those filters just seem like they're junk. We can't find a good brand. If you know of one, let us know. But pump number 2 was pretty clean. I'm still going to rinse it out in the sink and put it back on. Here we are about 48 hours later, and we got the parts to fix our reverso system. So I'm going to install the new impeller into the reverso pump and finish changing the oil. Try and get something done. So we've gotten quite a bit of our pre-departure list done. We've been going through our maintenance logs, and one of the last ones with the oil change and the reverso pump. The impeller was bad right in the middle of the oil change, or we got about a quarter of the way into it and realized it was bad. So today we're hoping to at least finish the oil change on the starboard engine, if not both engines and the generator, and I'd like to change the transmission fluid. I'm hoping we can get through all that today, but let's start with finishing our starboard engine that we started 2 days ago. All right, this is the moment of truth.
Whoa. There it is.
So we have our new oil filter, and we filled it to the top with oil, and I've rubbed oil on the O-ring. So now I'm going to sneak back there and screw this onto the front of the engine somehow without spilling it. That is the oil filter we just put on, so now we're going to put the fill cap on and fill the engine with new oil. We have the Shell Rotella in 5-gallon buckets, and And time to suck some new oil into the engine.
Just sucking up the oil. Yeah.
Well, we are about halfway through. We've got both engines empty and the generator empty. And man, if everything on that generator isn't in the worst possible spot. Yesterday we tensioned the V-belt and we changed the water fuel separator, and it's just nothing there to grab to on anything. I know some boats have it sitting out pretty. For some reason on Andromeda, it's crammed kind of on the outboard port side. We just got the oil filter off after the engine was empty with oil, and oil's everywhere. So we're trying to bring her back to life, but some of these jobs may go to the pros in the future. Well, we did it. We got both engines changed, the generator changed, and both transmission fluids changed, and filters on everything. So that was a big one for us to get off the list. It's a total mess and it's a total pain, but you know, for $350 in parts and oil versus like 15 or 1800 bucks to have the boatyard do it, it was kind of a no-brainer. But it is a pain. Some of those filters and fittings are just, I don't know who decides to put things where, but some of them are out of reach. But good news is the big one is off the list, and not for another 250 hours on our engine before we have to do it again. So now we got to find somewhere in town here where we'll take 18 gallons of used motor oil. See how that goes. Well, we've had a busy week of boat projects. Every day we've tried to get a few things done. We had a pretty long maintenance list. We wanted to get our maintenance log updated, oil changes, zinc changes, everything. And it was a bit overwhelming. We tried to do a lot of our own stuff this year to save a few bucks, and just kind of drug on and drug on. We're about 65 days from heading south again, and we just finished our oil change yesterday that we wanted to do this past winter. And this morning, I'm sort of updating our logs. We're down to the last few items. And today I'm going to change the engine zincs. There's 7 zincs per side. At least that's what the techs in Orange Beach told me. I did order 2 QSM11 zinc kits, and they did come with 7. There's 3 big ones on the engine and 4 smaller ones that I'm not sure where they go. I'm trying to solve that right now. But that's what I'm going to try and do today. We got a busy afternoon and evening with some things scheduled, so I figured I'd try and get one more little task done down there and cross another thing off the list. So you can see we've made pretty good progress on our list. Some of the lesser items, cleaning, waxing, we can do no problem on a sunny day, but it was this 50-hour, 100-hour, and annual service list that we tried to do. Well, we did do all these things on our own instead of having the boatyard do them over the winter. I've also been updating our log, 50-hour log, 100-hour log, 250-hour log, and our annual log, with some notes of who did what and what stuff we're going to do next summer when she's on the hard, or next winter when we take a break for Christmas, that we want the pros to do, because it was just stuff that was either out of our wheelhouse or had to be out of the water to do it. So we're updating all of our logs so we have a nice starting point when we take off out of here in October, and I can keep notes up at the helm or in my daily log that at 50 hours from when we leave I need to do this, 100 hours from when we leave I need to do that, and keep these log sheets updated. They're good for us. It's a good habit to get into. It's great if someone was ever to buy a boat to have an updated log like that. And we have all of our survey reports in there from Orange Beach and from our manifold and turbo repair over this past winter. So I'm going to get to it. I'm going to head down in the engine room and get these zincs installed before the day slips away from us and we get busy doing other stuff. These are our zincs. They come in a pack of 7. Like I said, there's 3 large ones. These go right on the engine. I found those and was able to inspect them. Then they come with 4 smaller ones. I think one goes in the oil cooler, maybe one in the fuel cooler. I think maybe one's for the generator, but we're gonna sort that out. So I'm looking at pictures of manuals online and going through my manuals to try and figure out where these smaller ones go, but we're gonna head down the engine room and get them installed. We are still finishing up our oil change. The fluids, I keep checking them every day and capping them off. We run the engines, let the engines cool. It's been in the 80s, so we let it sit overnight. I get down and make sure that the fluid levels are perfect. And I think one more top off today, and I can scratch that oil change off the list. Not reading anything. We need more oil in the trans. So the transmissions take 30 weight motor oil, and I went by the specs on the tag, but I think that the filter takes a quart on its own. And you can see this filter is mounted upside down, so we couldn't figure out a way to fill the filter and install it. Obviously, if we filled it up, flipped it upside down and install it, all the fluid would run out. So I did run the boat. We took it out a little bit yesterday and putzed around just to get the fluid moving. This side, the port side, seems to be about a quart low, and this one seems to be maybe 2 quarts low. So I'm going to pump some more 30 weight into both trans to try and level those off. I'll let them settle and check them maybe later tonight or tomorrow morning again, or for sure before we leave here again. But I'm surprised that it seems like they've taken maybe a quart more than the tag says, or maybe I miscounted, but engines are topped off, they're good, but I got to get some more fluid in both transmissions. So I'm here with the reverso system, and we're dealing with the port trans and the starboard trans, so these 2 valves, and I have my 30 weight oil container that I'm going to set down here, and I'm going to pump 1 quart into the starboard and a half quart into the port and let them settle. I can't tell from the dipstick if it's a full quart or a half quart or whatever they need, but the starboard engine's not reading on the dipstick, so I'm going to put 1 quart in there. And the port engine is on the low line of the dipstick, so I'm going to put a half a quart in there and just let things settle down overnight. Check it again tomorrow. We got about 1 quart into the starboard trans. I'm turning the valve off for the starboard trans, opening the valve for the port transmission, and now I'm going to put about a half a quart into the port trans. Well, that's it. About a half a quart went into the port trans, and now, as always with this machine, it's very convenient. It beats pouring oil into the engines and trans, but it is a little messy, so we keep the oil pads and the paper towels going, but we'll call the fluids topped off for today, and we'll check them again later tonight or tomorrow. So there are two zincs. Someone labeled 25, so I'm guessing someone put these in new. It wasn't us, maybe part of the work that got done this winter, but these are good, full length, so I'm going to leave these in. We're going to check this one also to be sure. I think I already did, but well, I guess the fresh water's flowing through there okay. But these two are good. They're both labeled 25. Again, I'm guessing someone at Barrett's put them in. I did check them before. I forgot that the lower one squirts out water. Got to have a towel ready for the other side. But engine zincs on the port engine are good. I found one of the smaller ones on the back of, I think this is a gear cooler. It seems like it's pumping the oil into the gear and allowing fresh water to flow through it and cool it. So I also think there's a fuel cooler, and I don't know if this is the same or where it's located, but I have found the port side looks like a gear cooler to me, so I'm going to change this one out real quick and hope that water doesn't gush out all over the place. I think we're gonna get water. I don't know how to not get water. Well, I guess it was time to... Oh, that's not good. So, I don't know how to deal with that, but it looks like the anode is broken off, and of course it's sitting right there. So, I need to try and pull the anode out of there. Kathy got me this set of 3 picks for Christmas one year, to some giggles from my daughters and myself, but I will say that we have ended up using these picks more than you'll know. If you don't have a little set of picks for getting down in nooks and crannies or pulling things apart, I recommend getting one. Thank you, Kathy. It was a great gift, no matter how many laughs we got out of it. Well, that's no good. It was only a small piece and it flushed through, so I hope it disintegrates, because obviously the rest of it disintegrated and flushed through. So bye-bye other half of the zinc, and hello new zinc. Gear cooler or possible fuel cooler, I'm not sure, but port side done. I'm still looking for one more zinc on the port engine somewhere. So I found the next zinc. I found the fuel cooler down here on the bottom of the engine, and that is the last zinc. However, this is the starboard engine. Over here is the port engine, where we just changed the zincs and we changed the fuel cooler behind the air filter. Because it is down low on this side of the engine, I'm gonna have to go all the way around the front of the engine and down the back side over there to get to that fuel cooler zinc on the other side of that engine. Okay, now I'm heading around the starboard engine. We can get around here. This is the outboard side of the starboard engine. We got 1, 2, and 3 down there. I know that bottom one squirts water, and the best I can come up with is a quick in and quick out. If anybody knows a better way to do it, let me know. I'm sure I'll ask a tech or something next time I run into them, but these two up here, no water. That one down there, water comes out, and I just go as fast as I can. So Here we are on the starboard side. Let's get her done. Okay, starboard side, all three are done. Tighten down, and you can see all three needed it. There was not much left, so new ones on the starboard intakes are good. I'm going back to do the starboard gear cooler now. We got the three on the engine done. I got the fuel cooler zinc on the starboard engine done, and now I have to go up and over this exhaust here to get the gear cooler zinc done, and the starboard engine will be 100% done. Well, that is it for today. I've got them all changed. Three on the engine intakes, the gear cooler, and the fuel cooler, but I cannot get to the fuel cooler on the outboard side of the port engine. Can't do it. I know when John was here and removed our ECM on that same side, I saw him back there, so I'm gonna wait till he comes here again and either have him help me do it or show me how to get around that engine. He might take a piece of the exhaust off to fit back there, and I'd just like him to show me how. I'm not gonna do that at the dock and cause more problems right now. Plus, it's very muggy and very hot down in this engine room. I also got the zinc changed in the heat exchanger on the generator. So all of our zincs are done except for the one. It always seems like that with boats. The one I can't get to on the outboard side of the port engine.
We would like to say a very special thank you to our Captain's Table patron, Tom M. And as always, a huge thank you to all our patrons. We couldn't do this without you.